so much. First of all, CK, it's been interesting watching you grow. I remember we had a coffee at Endiro, it feels like a lifetime ago. But it's really good to see you get to the place where you are. I will, I want to quickly iterate what Benjamin said. The idea that the Innovation Village seems to be working as both an enabler and an implementer. And I think it's important to make that distinction if you want to maintain authenticity within your audience. Obviously, if your goal is to be both, that's fine. But I think that you need to be very clear about it, just to avoid any mixed messages that could be getting out there. Secondly, one of the things you started with was that the Innovation Village today has transformed from when it started, and you've mentioned that the thing that has stayed constant is the name of the organization and your name. Just a little bit of feedback that I want to put to that is that growth is tough. You will have one strong North Star that you're looking at, and you keep focusing on that, but your journey is going to take a very complex level of sort of like just how it's going to progress out. It's going to be really hard. And so you will have people who will leave you because the reason they joined is no longer the reason that the organization is existing, or the way that you implement things is becoming tougher. And especially the larger that you grow, the more structured you become, the less passionate you appear to be, even though those values haven't changed. But just because there are lots of systems and processes in place, it begins to look like you're no longer the organization. So that's a very tough and very painful journey. And you have definitely lost people who I'm sure you had a lot of hopes and dreams for. I know personally that Fundi Bots has lost some really good people, and it's just simply because the organization was growing really quickly, and it was hard to maintain the sort of culture that drew these people in the first place, and the culture that you need to have in order to drive the scale of impact that you're looking at. So don't be discouraged about that, but just find ways to ensure that you communicate effectively with your team. One of the things that I'm looking at right now, and which is my second point, is that you need to invest in your people. My question for you is, what does the Innovation Village look like without CK, and how do you chart a journey towards your eventual absence from that space? Because the story of the hero founders needs to die. Organizations are built by the work, blood, and sweat of the people that we employ. As founders, all that we are conduits or resources to enable the people who are truly passionate about this to get the work done. And so how do you create an environment in which your presence is helpful but not mandatory? How do you basically free up space for your team to become the rock stars within the organization and avoid the spotlight that's always shining on the founders? And then my last question to you is, what does success look like for the Innovation Village? How will you know that you have actually succeeded in your dreams? And I say that because for Fundi Bots, success means that we are no longer needed as an organization, and that can be a very tough target to set, because it means that you're essentially working towards putting yourself out of business. So thank you again. It's been exciting watching you grow, and I've enjoyed our conversations. Cheers.